welcome back to the desk corner and welcome to a new very unexpected video, and this might be coming out at any point in time because I am ashamed of my art supply shopping problem, and so I'm going to spread out these types of videos so it's not super noticeable how much I'm actually adding to my collection. So not too long ago I was on Blick and I bought a lot of pencils open stock just to try them out, and I ended up buying a couple of different types of Derwent pencils. However, somehow, as I was doing my research into the science of different colored pencils by Derwent, since they have so many different lines, I completely missed the Derwent Drawing Pencils. Now, I had heard of them, but I thought that they were just like graphite pencils or something, and then I realized that they're actually not. They're actually like these really pretty muted neutral colors that you would use just in pretty much any type of natural— oh, it doesn't have a color chart on the back. It has a really tiny one down here, but don't worry, I'm going to be making my own color chart for you guys. These are just very nice muted natural tones that I tend to use a lot of. I don't use a lot of super bright colors, so sometimes I feel like it's a waste when I buy sets and they come with a lot of bright colors that I don't really end up using very often. So that was my excuse for why I ended up purchasing these drawing pencils. Now, I know this is really reflective. I'm going to go ahead and take the plastic off, but first I'm just going to read what this says. In case you don't really know about these pencils or you were oblivious to them like I was. It says, Derwent drawing pencils are highly lightfast and have a unique creamy texture which produce a soft velvety finish. Drawing pencils are a versatile drawing tool with an extra thick core and high pigmentation, creating a dense color application. These wax-based pencils work beautifully with both dry and water-soluble mediums, available in a range of 24 light-fast colors in natural, sepia, and muted tones. Awesome. So 24 is the biggest set, which could explain why these don't really come up often when talking about colored pencil sets, because the range is too small for it to be considered like a full colored pencil set or anything like that. But it does say that these are natural sepia and muted tones, which is great. I'm thinking that these could probably be used with any of my other sets to complement them. I also have to point out that it does say water-soluble mediums here. And I always say mediums, but I mean to say media, and then sometimes I say media when I'm talking about mixed media paper. And honestly, I'm not really sure which one is correct or if they both are. Let's go ahead and get to unboxing these pencils. I'm very excited, actually. Oh, that's odd. The plastic is like wrapped around on the bottom or something. So I don't want to do the pencil reveal yet, but I guess we have to. Okay, here's the pencils. Right now you can't really see them too well because plastic is wrapped around them. Wow, aren't they so pretty? Okay, I don't know how well this shows up on camera, but when they say thick cores, they mean thick cores. I'm gonna do a comparison so you guys can see. Those are some very thick pencil cores. Oh, these are just beautiful. Guys, look at the color dip at the end here. Every single one of these colors, like that is something that I could use as an undertone or a base layer for any of my work, because I do like to draw things like portraits or sometimes animals and other things that require a lot of neutral colors. So I am just really happy to see what this range looks like. I think we should get to swatching and talking about the colors themselves and how they feel laying down. I have tried a few Derwent pencils before, so I'm not worried per se, but I know that they all have very different formulas, and I hope I like this formula because I ended up really disliking the Pro Color formula, and I ended up kind of liking the Color Soft more, and of course the Light Fast. Those are all the Derwent pencils I've tried so far, so I'm hoping that these are creamy. They do say they're wax-based, so I shouldn't have any issues there. Now here I have a mixed media sketchbook, however, it's not really that great. So I also have this little like scrap paper of hot pressed watercolor paper in case I want to add more layers, or if I'm not able to get enough layers here. So we're just gonna start by swatching on this sketchbook, and then I will go ahead and show you guys on here as well, just to make sure. Before we start swatching, I want to take a little closer look at the pencils themselves. This is what they look like up close. You've got the color here and the number here, and they look a lot like all the other Derwent pencils, of course. I really do like the color of the casing though. Now they have an extremely thick core, so I'm going to compare this to a polychromos pencil, which is about the same size of barrel, it looks like, not too much bigger than a polychromos, but look at the difference in the core. That is crazy. Now I'm also going to show you guys a Prismacolor because I know that's a well-known pencil as well. So this is, the Prismacolor is visibly smaller than the Derwent Drawing Pencil, but you can see it's a little hard to tell because this Prismacolor is sharpened so much, but you can see how much thicker the core is on the Derwent pencil. Oh yeah, it's not hard to tell. Now that I'm looking into the viewfinder, I can really see. So that is really, really cool. And it's probably great for covering areas a bit faster than a normal pencil would, which I think makes it really well suited, hopefully, for underlayers and things like that. Alright, so I've put those pencils away and let's start swatching. The first color is Light Sienna. Oh, that's very nice. Okay. This is not like a formal swatch chart or anything. I just want to get an idea of how these pencils feel, how they lay down, and they're actually really smooth. I really like the feel of them so far. So the next one is Solway Blue, or Solway Blue. Now the thing that's tricky about this paper is it doesn't take a ton of layers, which is why I'm going to do some swatches on my hot pressed paper as well. That's a really nice, like, muted bluish gray tone, as you guys can see. I think it's showing up pretty well on camera. We've also got Ink Blue. Oh, that's very nice. Look at Ink Blue. It's so rich in color. Next is Smoke Blue. This is the last of the blues, and that would just blend so nicely with the Ink Blue, I think. And I just really love how these are very usable colors for me. As I said before, I'm not huge on bright colors and I don't usually use them as much as I use my neutral tones. So these are very, very useful colors for me. Next is, we're getting into some greens here. Next is Pale Cedar. So I'm going to move down here and show you guys that. So, so pretty. I'm obsessed with color palettes that look like this. We've got quite a few pretty greens here. The next one is called Green Shadow. I love how it's got a gray undertone. That's really pretty right there. You can see how easily these colors could blend into each other. We've also got Crag Green. Crag, I wonder what crag is. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Next is Olive Earth. Ooh, I really like this one. These are just great. I love them so far. Next is Warm Earth. I think one of the best features about these is how quick they lay down due to the thicker cores. And therefore you can cover an area a lot faster. So I really do like this color here. I think I just like all of the colors. Next is Brown Ochre. This one's pretty light, so I hope it still shows up on the white paper. This is Wheat. It looks a bit like a cream color, maybe like an eggshell. Now I haven't sharpened these obviously, so I'm getting some little streaks that I often get with new pencils, but I was just too excited right away. I had to try them, so that is Wheat. Next is Yellow Ochre. Such a pretty color, so gorgeous. I'm just obsessed. I'm just going to obsess over these forever. This says sepia parentheses red, so I guess there might be multiple different sepia pencils in here. This one's got a reddish undertone. It's almost like mahogany undertone or something like that. I could so imagine using that for like the bark of a tree or something like that. Next we have Mars Orange. The color names are also very nice. I don't know enough about Derwent pencils to know if their color ranges overlap names a lot, but I really love these names. And they're not as soft as a Color Soft, which maybe might be too soft for some people. This is just a very nice burnt orange color. We've also got sanguine, I don't know. I could win an award for the worst pronunciation of color and pigment names. So all of these colors that have this reddish undertone are just really beautiful. We've also got terracotta. Of course, I'm glad to see that they've got terracotta. Mars violet. So we're getting into the violets, and I like how this is very muted as well. Again, as I said a million times, I don't use bright colors quite as often as I use neutrals. So this is like a dream palette for me, really. Ruby Earth is the next one. Very nice. And then we have chocolate, and that's a really, really nice deep brown, almost black, which is really, really nice to have. It's a very, very deep brown. And then we've got ivory black. I think I went a little too big with this swatch. Oh dear. I can't really fix it at this point, but that's okay. It's not an official swatch chart at all. There's ivory black. Let me scoot this up for you guys to see better. Okay, this is good. We have warm gray. Very useful. And of course we've got cool gray. Oh dear, there is some blue pigment coming out there on the top, but again, I haven't sharpened these or anything like that. I'm not really sure. Oh, I'm not having the issue anymore, but right when I went to lay it down, some of the blue pigment at the top came off. Let me look at it. I don't really see any streaks of blue or anything. I think it just got too excited. And then of course we have Chinese white, and I just can't get it out. And that's not going to show up very well. Actually, that's a bit brighter than the paper. So I don't know if it shows up on camera, but I can definitely see that. That's a bright white. I've got to test it out more, but it seems like a pretty good white because I don't really like the white that comes in most oil-based sets like polychromos or anything. I don't find them to be super useful. This one looks like it would be useful, but we're gonna have to test it out and see. There they are, you guys, the full 24 set of the Derwent Drawing Pencils. Obviously to be used as a supplemental set, as they don't have a lot of key colors if you don't have another colored pencil set already. However, as a supplemental set, these add really nice neutral colors that often come up, and these are the colors I use a lot in my other colored pencil sets that are similar to these ones, so these are definitely useful colors depending on what type of artwork you like to create. But if you know that you use a lot of neutrals and tones like this, I think that these would be a great supplemental set to whichever one you have. If you like wax-based pencils, of course, they don't feel overly waxy to me. For me, Prismacolor feels a little too waxy sometimes. Here's my black Prismacolor. I don't want to destroy the beauty of this swatch, so we're gonna go down here. And even when I swatch it, it does feel a bit waxy in comparison. I mean, it is a wax-based pencil. I'm not a huge fan of Prismacolors anymore. They were my first colored pencil actually, that I got, but I no longer use them as much as I used to, even though they are rich and creamy and blend really smoothly. But for me, they're just a bit too waxy and a bit too hard to sharpen. Now, I don't think I'd have too much of an issue with the Derwent Drawing Pencils because I think I would probably use them to cover larger areas. They don't really look like they're meant for really fine detail or anything like that. So I think these would be great to use along with my polychromos or my luminance pencils perhaps, because they just have such thick cores and I'm able to cover areas pretty quick. I kind of want to test how they blend though, so I think I'm going to take maybe the two purples to make this a little bit fun. We'll do a little blending test. I kind of want to use my hot pressed paper because this mixed media sketchbook paper is not something I would normally use in my work. I just use it to swatch around and play around. So as you can see, oh, this comes down really nicely. There's that one, and then this one. I just can't get over how gorgeous these colors are. And as expected, being a wax-based pencil, they just blend right into each other. I'm gonna add a couple more layers so that you can really see that. Since I mainly use my polychromos now, I kind of forgot how nicely and easily a wax-based pencil blends into another color. That's just really beautiful. Do you guys see that? Do you see how quickly I did that? I just took out one of my polychromos pencils. It's dark red. I just want to show you guys. And of course this is a bit sharper, but still. I want to show you guys how much longer it takes to get a laydown of color with an oil-based pencil like this one with a smaller core as well. You're still able to get the laydown and it still looks really nice. It just requires a little bit more effort in doing so. So it might be tiring if I wanted to cover, like, let's say a whole area for a background or something. If I just wanted to use my polychromos, it's doable, but it would take longer to color, whereas with the wax-based pencils you can just do it a lot faster. Let's test how these work with the polychromos though. I know some of you pencil nerds are jumping out of your seats at this moment. So I grabbed another polychromos pencil, and then I have my Mars Violet Derwent pencil, and I just want to see if these two will blend together or how the polychromos will lay down on top. And yeah, we'll just do a little experiment. I'm able to get them to blend together just fine, and then I was able to go over the top of this even though I did add a lot of pressure there. Now I'm sure a lot of you guys know, if you've been using colored pencil for a while, that you don't want to press too hard normally when you're actually working on a piece, because then you're just going to flatten out the paper and it's hard to get any layers on top. But since I'm putting these pencils to the test, I decided to just do it anyway and see how much I flattened the paper or how much wax bloom buildup there is, and if the paper would take more pigment. I know this has to do more with the paper than the pencil, but you know, we like to be harsh with these types of tests. Now let's go ahead and test out the white pencil on black paper. I already have a whole swatch of white pencils in my little black sketchbook, so we can compare pretty easily to other colored pencil brands. If I zoom in on that a little bit, you can see I've got the Prismacolor white, Caran d'Ache Luminance, Polychromos, Magic Fly, which is a brand I recently tried out, the General's charcoal pencil, and then of course a white gel pen. And now I'm going to try Chinese White by Derwent. So as you guys can see, that is a pretty good white actually. It is brighter of course than the oil-based Polychromos white, which I mentioned to you guys before I don't really like too much. Now I have my Luminance white, even though I already have that swatched out. I kind of want to try it again to make sure it's accurate here. So there you can see the difference between, there's the Derwent white and then the Luminance white. So I would say that the Derwent white is pretty good actually. Again, not all these whites are exactly the same. Some of them have a slightly different tint to them. Now, of course, you guys, this is just my first impressions type review, not like a full review or anything. I have yet to actually try these out in my artwork, but looking at the swatches here, I can just tell how useful these colors would be for me, and I'm really happy that I was able to get these. I will link the pencils down below. I bought them off of Amazon. I think I found a gem, you guys. I really do, because I didn't know the existence of these pencils at all. I think I found a gem, you guys. Like, I really do, because I did not know of the existence of these pencils up until very recently. So I'm very excited, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I know I need to go to pencil rehab by now. I know, it's a problem. I'm going to try to stop. Hopefully my obsession with pencils is either entertaining, relatable, or informative to you in some way, shape, or form. As always, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to leave a comment down below if you have anything to say about these pencils, your experience with them, or what you think of them. If you enjoy content like this and also like art tutorials, more formal reviews, beginners tutorials, and different things like that, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell if you'd like to see when I'm posting more videos, usually on Thursdays, and sometimes I post an extra one on Mondays as well. But I think that's all for today, you guys. I'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching again. Bye!